turn that down a little bit. Hello there, and welcome back to the stream. I am finishing off my adventures with the British Museum with Sherlock Holmes and Watson. So let's get into it. I'm excited. The interesting thing about these books to me is that they generally, it's impossible to tell how long you're going to be playing for. With the last one, it took 3 sessions. This one has, I think that I've done a total of 4 hours of play so far, and I'm not quite to that point yet. I don't know. We'll see what happens. There are 3 or 4 possible endings to the game. I think that 2 of them are abject failure, one of them is a mixed success, and then one of them is a complete success. Like pulling in those like powered by the apocalypse phrasings. But yes, for those of you who are joining brand new, this is a Sherlock Holmes escape book. It's a little bit like a mixture of an escape room and riddles and puzzles, solo TTRPG, all that kind of good stuff. If you want to join in solving puzzles, hello, welcome on in. So there is a link to the translation device, which is this thing here, in the chat. So if you want to join in solving those, you are more than welcome to. And we're going to get started. So to begin with, last we left off, we were in the reading room in the British Museum. We're trapped in there. So we're in the reading room and we had to find all of this symbol. Actually, it might be easier to see it on here. This symbol at the corner of that piece of paper is what we had to find, and the number tells you where to go next. Well, that was not terribly helpful because there is a cut off, like partially visible one here. So I was just like, well, it's not 6. So I looked it up. I could have just guessed that it was 7 and gone up from there, but whatever. In any case, we are on number 7 now. So, looking for 7, and this is something that I love that these particular authors do that the previous one that we played did not do, and they tie in these numbers and things with the actual gameplay because it's not like, oh yes, Holmes, look for 7, and then nothing happens. We're actually looking for 7. 7, you say, and when I say you, it's Sherlock Holmes. Get out the map, Watson. Room 7. Where are we headed? Watson pulls out the map from his pocket and scans it. There's no room 7, Holmes, Watson says, scratching his beard. But there's a bookcase 7, you say, pointing at the far wall. Watson follows your finger. Brilliant as ever, Holmes. You walk over. In the center of the bookcase, a single book has been pulled out slightly. On its spine are the printed words Sherlock Holmes. Convenient. That book has your name on it, Watson chuckles, tickled by his own joke. That was a very bad joke, Watson. Shame on you. So you sigh pointedly, pulling the book out and turn to page 7. On page 7, you see 2 symbols. The symbols remind you of something you saw earlier that day. You pull it from your pocket and line it up. Together, they make a sequence. And I am going to go ahead and pull up that image. So let me see. Okay, because I have all of these images saved on my laptop to make it easier. Is it in downloads? This is the fun thing. This computer is just like, you could know where things are. Here we go. 7, 7, 7, 7. Do I not have 7 in here? I do. Okay. They're weirdly out of number order, and I don't know why. Anyway, here we go. So this is what we see, and I'm going to shrink that down a little bit because it doesn't need to be quite so big. There we go. Oh, that bothers me slightly. There we go. Okay, so we have these. Find the start of the sequence, then solve E. Oh, that's exciting. Turn to your answer. So we have C, D, E with a question mark, And then 52, 97, 39, 76. Anyone have any ideas? Because I am flummoxed. This is not a kind of puzzle that I've done before. No idea? I'm just going to go ahead and look at the hints in the back, see if they give us anything useful. Oh, goodness. There's a reading room ticket in 107. Yes. So we have A, B as well. I thought that this was lined up, but it's not. Okay, let's see. When you have it, think through the full sequence A, B, C, D. Which of the bottom images is E? Consider the two ways the image is changing, one movement and one addition. What happens if you make both of those changes happen one more time? Okay, so A, B, C, D. Uh, uh, my goodness. I think that this one's going to be just a slight bit too much of a challenge for me. I'm going to be honest. Some puzzles I'm really good at, some I'm not. So the beginning of the sequence is on the reading room ticket 107 found in the director's office. Between each element of the sequence, the image rotates 90 degrees clockwise and an extra triangle is added to the left of the shape. This is what we see in square 39. So you were correct, it's 39. So E is 39. I'm just going to show that result. You can see that. That is our solution to the problem. However, I think that that's just a little bit too much. I've never seen that kind of puzzle before. That's really cool. It makes me want to like try out other puzzles like that. I'm fascinated. I would not have gotten that. But yes, the answer is 39. Very well done. Okay. King's Library. So we've got this beautiful image and a note, which I believe I had tests something like that for one job. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna hide that and grab the next image, which is 39. Let's see. Why are these out of number order? And we do technically have two 39s because there's the little message and then there's the big picture, but I don't think that the big picture is needed here. So, nope. Perfect. Okay. All right, 1 second. Just need to move that. Oh, nope, too far. Oh, because the webcam is a new thing. Anyway, there we go. So, ignore this for a second. I'm going to read the things before this. So you follow Watson through the doors into the King's Library. He breaks the silence. It's a marvelous room to explore, even to be locked in, isn't it, old man? He looks up at the ceiling high above and the balcony along the walls. Quite a length, almost long enough for a 100-yard dash, he muses. Exactly long enough, you counter. It is precisely 100 yards in length. I have calculated it from having walked this short section and knowing my own stride. We haven't got time, though, Watson. We need to focus. That seems a random conversation, but sure. I say, Holmes, look at this. He's holding up an envelope addressed to Messenger Watson. Where did you find that, Watson, you say? On the table. Messenger, indeed. What can that mean? Watson opens the envelope and finds this message, and notes the differently colored fonts plus the random bolds. Messenger Watson, where do the gods live? Some come flying down below, others keep their secrets up on high. Count Holmes. Follow these deliverers to your next prison. Some letters are in red and some in bold, he says. Yep. Clearly a code, you say. Anagrams, perhaps, Watson murmurs. Flying down below, you ponder, but then up on high. What do we know about how the gods send messages, Holmes? He murmurs. You're silent, pondering. So we can either turn to the number we discover, or you're not sure what the message is asking you to do. You notice a small door at the end of the library standing slightly ajar. You head towards it. We're going to actually do the decoding, though. So I'm going to start with the red. So we have M-Y. Oh, is it going to say Mycroft? Or no? Myrrceu. Obviously not Mycroft. And then in bold, we have REEMHSR. So these are anagrams, perhaps, he said, but they could also be need to be put into our lovely decoder. But if they are an anagram, let's see. I'm going to do some random typing and see if I come up with something. So I don't speak English, that's why it's hard for me. That is very valid. Don't worry. These are difficult, honestly, even if you're English as a first language. So, oh no, there are two R's. I have to rearrange because otherwise, no, don't apologize at all. That is not a big deal. Um, these are like, I have a hard time rearranging things in my brain. Like, the biggest example is when you put shoes into a shoebox, you just put them mirroring each other basically, but mirroring and then reversed. And I always have to line them up, flip, flip. I can't just immediately put them in. I don't know why. Um, I did Marish twice. I'm just like trying to rearrange that second one rather. And see that first one only has one R, but there are two R's. Yeah, that's gonna be the other option. I'm just gonna see if maybe it creates a number if I look in here. That wouldn't make sense though, because it's going to be like big numbers, and they said an anagram. I am going to just look in the back. We're on 39. Let's see what the clue is. Identify the bold and red letters in the note, then unscramble these letters to find two names. Okay, you've heard of both of these individuals in this book. How do these individuals travel? You should find a symbol that represents this in the room. Some are up, some are down, others up. How many are there of each? Put these numbers one after the other. My goodness, these clues are fascinating and bizarre to me. Some down, others up. Names that we've heard in the book before. I'm going to look at the map. That's on page 100. Any names in here that are helpful? No. No, I'm originally from the United States, but I live in Germany. So I've lived in Germany for the last 5 years, which is just wild to think about. Okay, it's definitely not on here. So I'm going to say, because they've said, oh, these are names that you've seen in the book, I'm just going to look at a couple of the important names that we know. And these are notes that Holmes has in his pocket. Let's see. It's not Lady Arabella Conk Singleton. It's definitely not Diogenes Mount. No, there's a Y in it. think I'm just going to look at the notes. Obviously, it's not Bellarabia. Elgin marbles, nothing with that. It's 3 year I talk English with people on trip. Oh, no, 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 don't worry. Not rude at all. You are absolutely fine. I can speak more slowly. That is not a problem for me. Nope, I haven't seen that note yet. Foolish friend, Bonaparte. I'm just going to look at the answer. It was 39. There we go. The bold and red letters in the note give you 2 anagrams. Unscrambled. Oh, goodness. I'm just shaking my head at myself. Yeah, it is a little bit of a cheat. Uh, Unscrambled, the anagrams spell out Mercury and Hermes. Mercury and Hermes are winged messengers, as discussed earlier in the book. The message tells you that some come flying down below, others keep their secrets up on high. This references the downturned and upturned wings on the balcony. Oh my goodness, there are wings on the balcony. Hang on. That's a vague clue. Those look like swoops. They don't look like wings. Um, Count Holmes. I don't know which one's Holmes. I think it's this one. Intriguing. Okay. So if I'm counting Holmes, I haven't read the full answer. So these are wings, allegedly. I disagree with that. But it says some come flying down below, others keep their secrets up on high. Count Holmes. Follow these deliverers to your next prison. So it's either 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's either 32 or 23. Count Holmes. I think that it means that it's 32. That makes the most sense to me. I'm going to go with that. Haha! I was correct. Okay, bookshelves, it says. Watson wanders away from you, map in hand. He's so absorbed in it that he almost walks into 3 separate bookcases. Watson, for goodness sake, dear fellow, you shout after him. Look where you're going and hurry up. Watson turns, looking confused. Holmes, there's a 32 on the map, and it appears that the room we're looking for is just here. Watson points at a bookshelf directly in front of him and looks at you quizzically. You say nothing. You wait for it to fall into place. I don't understand. This is a bookshelf. How do I... Watson reaches out to the bookshelf in frustration. The bookcase moves under the pressure of his hand. Good Lord! The look of surprise on Watson's face is worth it. The bookcase opens up like a door to reveal a small winding staircase. Well, up we go then, Watson. You smile at him. How did you know, Holmes? Why didn't you say anything? You just smile as Watson heads up the narrow stairs. Turn to 43. Nope. Ah, where is my mod when I need him? There's music notes. You hurry ahead of Watson and into the curator's office. Books are piled high and notes are scattered across the desk. You sigh heavily. You're growing more concerned you won't be able to make it out in time. Look at this, Watson calls, a page of musical manuscript in his hand. I will say it is a rather simple one, I suppose. If it's just looking at the letters, we'll see. You're well known for your skill on the violin, but even you would struggle to make a tune out of these notes. Oh, good. So many of them are repeated. As he holds up the music, you see the words "Go to" scrawled across the top, and an S scribbled beneath the first set of notes. Do you think it's a musical code, Holmes? Certainly. Now, which part of the museum do the notes lead us to? I know you read music, Holmes, says Watson eagerly, but I don't believe these notes correspond to letters in the normal way. The first three notes together on the third line are normally G, are they not? But the code writer has indicated the letter S. Thank you, Watson. I had noticed that some time ago. You perch on the edge of the desk and attempt to break the code. So let's switch the image now. Let's see, 43. Oh, it's at the very top. Huzzah. So here is our lovely code. And we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 letters. The first letter is S. Interesting. So there are 8 sections of music notes. So there's like the 4, the 2, is that 5? 5, 4, 5, 3, 3, 1. I'm curious if the 4s are S's potentially, but it might be shifted down because of the music notes. Going to get something to drink. Okay, let's see. Oops, sorry, I bumped into the microphone. I'm looking at it on the screen now. Let's see. Let's see. Never eat shredded. I don't know this one. Even Garfield eats dog food. That's the one. Even Garfield eats dog food. That's how I learned those letters. Hmm. I think I need to write this down. Where's my notebook? Ah, little one. S. Okay. So if I go A, B, C, D, E from the bottom to the top, so if I do that loop a couple of times, I do land on an S, so that might be a thing. So how many rows? So there are 5 rows. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Flip and reverse that from the top to the bottom. I did it and then I didn't pay attention to which side I started on. So starting at the top line going down, That gets to the fourth line is an S. So that's something potentially. Potentially. We'll see. What else is there? Because there's the number of notes as well. It can't, because they're all matching in sets. Hmm. So there's rows 1 through 5, and there's also number groupings of notes from 1 through 5. So what if it's looking at a table, number of notes on one side and number column, like number, which line number it is on the other. Let's see, so what would that make it? So if we use this S as an anchor, so line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I'm not getting it the other direction. We have 1 note, 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes. And 4 and 4 is S. Obviously, like there's 26 letters in the alphabet, there's not 25. But if we go off of that pattern, you know what, I don't have to rewrite this. I can just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say it's that and see if this spells anything. So we've got the fourth line down, 4 things is an S. Fourth line down, 2 is an I. So S-I, I mean, so far so good. Fourth and 5 is an X. 6. Okay. And now we're on the fifth column here. So fifth column 4 T. Okay, so 60 most likely. 5 and 5. Yep, I have 60 and 3 letters. 62, 61. Fifth column 3 O. Fourth and 3 N. Okay, it's 61. Hey, got it. Not too bad. I started rewriting and I was like, I did basically the same thing here, so I don't need to do it again. Okay. That was a very strange puzzle. Not one that I have ever like experienced before, so I like that they have all of these different kinds of puzzles. I feel like the previous book had a few too many of the same kinds of puzzles. Okay, so 61. They have another note for you can't solve it. But yes, so 61. Tick tock. You follow Watson back down the staircase and into the manuscript saloon. After the grandeur of the King's library, this feels decidedly plain. Your eyes scan the cabinets full of yellowing documents. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a glint of white. You look closer. Watson follows your eye. It's an envelope, he says, a letter. Watson trots off across the room to collect it. The room is silent apart from the sound of your breath, Watson's footsteps, and the ticking of the wall on the clock. Tick, tock, tick. Finally, a clock. You look up eagerly. You can feel the time pressure weighing on you. We're trying to beat the clock before the king gets assassinated. Each tick of the clock feels like an attack. Holmes, it is addressed to you. And it says, let's see if I have this image in here. 61. I do. Open. Okay, it's the full thing, so I'll read it first and then I'll make it appear because I just took a simple photo of this and so it has the text as well. So the note says, with every passing year we grow older, Holmes. Minutes pass by and we sit and watch the clocks. Hour by hour they tick. We are almost at our future. You turn the words over in your mind, wondering. She's trying to direct us to one of these display cases. But which one? You muse aloud. Each thought is punctuated by a tick-tock. We don't have time to look through them all, Holmes. Watson sounds concerned. And I'm just gonna go ahead and show this. Let me shrink it down. So, note and clock. The clock! You look up. Something isn't right. The time doesn't correspond to the light outside the window. You look down. A pocket watch lies on the table in front of you. The clock, Watson, you cry. It's wrong. Maybe that's our clue, Holmes, Watson responds eagerly. Perhaps the clock can tell us which display case to look in. You look again at the clock, back down at the pocket watch, and ponder. Use the clock and the pocket watch to find the answer. Turn to the number you discover. Well, that is 6:30. And that is, and I don't have it up here. So you can see hour hand is 6, minute hand is 30, and then I'm going to switch images. Teeny tiny, but blown up. So we have 6:30. I'm going to put that in the chat. And then 8:31. 8:31. Man, if it's 8:31, the king's supposed to be assassinated at 9. That would be bad. Okay, so 201, which is not a number here. If not that, maybe it gets spelled out. Six is a G. No, that's not going to spell anything out. $6:30, 8:31. Maybe 21? I doubt it, but I'm going to check. 21 from 61. Aha. So apparently I did it right. So it's 21, Watson responds. The hour, then the minute. You muse. You're not entirely convinced. Oh no. I might be wrong then. Let's see. You follow Watson as he winds around the cabinets to display case 21. A clipping, Watson points out. You look down into the display case below. What a relief, Watson sighs. There can be no plot after all, Holmes. How are they going to assassinate the king if he isn't leaving the palace? You say nothing. It is a little odd, though, isn't it, Holmes? Watson looks at you. To have sent us all around the museum searching for this plot, only to tell us it isn't going to happen. It is in our opponent's style, though, you admit reluctantly. They seem to like watching me suffer. Let's get out of here then. Watson beams at you as he takes the map out of his pocket. You walk back to the center of the manuscript saloon. Something still doesn't feel right. And I'm going to see, I think I took a picture of this one. It is 21. King Edward VII cancels all public engagements. King Edward VII announced today that he plans to cancel all public engagements for the foreseeable future. The act is understood to be in response to growing assassination fears. A death threat has been seen scrawled on the outer walls at Buckingham Palace, and who knows how many more are landing with the king inside. Unfortunately, this act has done little to improve good favor. Many are now scrambling to replace the king as a key speaker or dignified guest. We at the Herald can only hope that soon the king can return to his official duties, but wish him well in the meantime. Long live the king. Turn to 49. I am curious. I'm going to see if I was correct on that one. Because I like to do that from time to time, see if I'm going the right path. I still follow the route that I took, but I like to see if I'm correct. How wrong is the clock? Work out the difference. If you're unsure what order the digits should go in, have a look at the note and follow the order there. Oh, maybe it was 12. What did the note say? With every passing year, we grow older, Holmes. Minutes pass by, and we watch the clocks. Hour by hour they tick. We are almost at our future. I think it was supposed to be 12. Yep, it was supposed to be 12. I'm going to follow both of them because I like doing that. So I'll do 21 first and follow that through. And then, because I'm sure that that will dead end quickly, and then we'll switch to 12. So I'm going to 49 now. Okay. A choice of two libraries. A shiver threads itself up your spine. You love these moments when everything begins to fall into place. You are very keen to get on. Where to then, Watson, you demand. Well, Watson retorts, your guess is as good as mine, Holmes. Either we go on towards the front entrance through the Grenville Library, or we go back to the King's Library. It's a choice of two libraries, you mutter to yourself. But which is it, Holmes? Watson responds testily. Forwards to the Grenville Library or back to the King's? It does not specify. Head to the Grenville Library, turn to 17. Head to the King's Library, turn to 22. And there are no clues or anything of that nature. Front entrance. I feel like it would be too easy to just go back to the entrance. I'm going to go to the King's Library. Is this the end? No. Okay. Let's see. You walk back through the corridors to the King's Library. Suddenly, a figure appears out of the darkness directly in front of you. You stop dead in your tracks. Is it Moran? Lady Conk Singleton? It is, in fact, just the disconcertingly handsome cleaner once more. He is heading straight for you. You try to get out of the way, but you don't quite make it, and he gently brushes against you as he moves past. You think you hear the words, "Good luck. Top left, bottom right," very gently spoken. "Hello," you call after him as he recedes into the darkness. "Hello, who are you? Were you talking to me?" The figure continues walking. You linger for a moment and then rush ahead to meet Watson. Top left, bottom right, Watson. Write that down before I forget. I'm not sure what it means yet. It definitely means something. You push open the big doors to the King's Library once again. Turn to 69 and look down. It feels odd to be re-entering a room you escaped only moments before. Watson grips the two maps tightly in his hand. All these extra markings, Holmes, he says, turning to you. They seem to be on the right-hand side of the room. Perhaps some of these bookshelves. Watson starts pushing at the bookshelves, but to no avail. You wander over and lift the map out of his hand. See, Watson, you say. They are slightly set back from the wall. More like here. You take a step to your left, and metal clangs beneath your feet. You look down to see a floor grate directly beneath you. Watson steps over. Going underground. Watson lifts up the grate. He sticks his head through the hole. By Jove, you're right, old man, he exclaims. His voice reverberates. There seems to be some sort of tunnel down here. You glance around the room one final time and spot a solitary candle burning in a far corner. You pick it up before joining Watson, who has now lowered himself into the underground tunnel. The tunnel is dirty and small and extends to your left and right, directly east and west. You hold the candle up and peer down the paths. They seem identical. Which way, you wonder aloud? Here, Holmes, come and look. Beckons you over. Watson beckons you over. He points to a message carved into the dirt. It's that damn code again, Watson sighs. If people are going to use these ancient languages, I do wish they would at least do it properly. Which way do you go? Well, let's go ahead and switch out the image. Number 44. Okay. And I can minimize that so that we can make the rest bigger for y'all. Again, as a reminder, you can also decode this. I have that linked. I can do the bloopity bloop again. There we go. So, and conveniently now I can just look at this while I'm decoding. Okay, so we have that fun Y shape. There it is. Which is a G. I'm assuming the first word is go. I feel like that is a valid assumption to make. And given that, I'm just going to look at the letter O. Yep, go. And then we've got a burb, this burb. W. Trying to remember what that symbol is. There it is. WH, and there's going to be an H on the next word as well. Go where, I assume. Go where the something. I had a thought and then I'm going to look at this. Go where the sun, maybe? That's an S. Yep. Go where the sun rises, I think. R. Yep. Go where the sun rises. Very cool. This just makes me think of how BBC Sherlock would utterly fail. Sorry, just replying to a message. Let me pop that up. Okay. So go where the sun rises. So we're going to go to the east. Oh, what page was I on? Oh, I can just look at what this image number is, 44. There we go. So we're going east, so we're turning to 74. Oop, apologies for hitting my microphone. You turn east. Watson says, I do rather wish we were walking towards a rising sun. You can feel his morale dipping. Not long now, old chap, you cheer him on. We've got light, we've got this tunnel, what else could we need? You lift your hand to pat him consolingly on the shoulder. Just at that moment, the candle fizzles out, because of course it does, plunging you both into the pitch blackness. At least that provided a little light relief, Watson commiserates as you both grope your way forwards through the darkness. That is terrible. Like, genuinely awful. That is such a dad joke. Anyway, turning to 38. Hands on the handle? Dot, dot, dot. The rough dirt of the tunnel gives way to a hard floor, and you can breathe a sigh of relief. Watson turns to you, excited. We've made it, Holmes. We're here. Let's calm ourselves, Watson, you respond. We're not quite there yet. You look around inquisitively. This is pointless. In the pitch black, you can barely see your hand in front of your nose. Watson stumbles sideways and bumps into you. Oh, Holmes, I'm sorry. Confound it. I just can't seem to find my bearings here. Watson stumbles off, but he has given you an idea. You close your eyes and track back to the King's Library in your mind, and you run through the calculations. Facing northeast, down 10 yards, a 45-degree turn clockwise, and 6 minutes walking at a pace of 3 1/10 miles per hour in a southerly direction should mean the platform is... You turn sharply to your left, reach out, and yes, there's a door. There we go, you say. You reach down. Your hand fumbles a little at the handle, which feels large and surprisingly heavy. It turns a little too easily. Then, quite without warning, the handle falls through the door and into the room on the other side. Light spills through the hole, and Watson gives the door a gentle kick. It swings open in front of you, revealing a small room with a gas lamp burning in the far corner. You step inside. Turn to 102. This is a lot of actual text now compared to the very beginning. So, you are in what seems to be an underground vault. The door bangs shut behind you. A gas lamp illuminates a grate on the far wall, which looks directly onto the tracks and then up to the platform opposite. The platform is hung with ribbons and gaudy banners. You shiver with revulsion. Even in this moment of imminent danger, you absolutely cannot stand sentimentality. Watson walks ahead. This is the spot, he says, turning to you and miming the action of a sniper's gun. A bullet shot straight up from there hits that stage perfectly. We've got them. I'm afraid, Watson, I rather think they have us. You point to the floor. There lies a gun glinting against the flagstones. The pieces fall into place. The door handle, he says, with your fingerprints. We're being framed. We've got to leave. You turn to the door and are greeted with a large metal contraption surrounded by curious etchings. There are 2 knobs and 4 dials in a line. Your curiosity seems to get the better of you for a moment. Ah, this is the Singleton security system. You turn to Watson. From the book of patents in the catalog room. Yes, it is. Watson looks around. But it's also the only door. We're completely locked in. On the back of the door, there is also an envelope addressed to Messrs. Watson and Holmes. Watson picks it up. He opens the envelope, shakes out a letter written in the same scratchy scrawl, and reads, Well, what can I say? Thank you. You've made this rather easy for us. We'll be joining you soon on the tracks, but by the time Colonel Moran's bullet lands in the king's heart, there will be no one to find but you, Holmes, in an underground vault with a gun with your fingerprints. What a shame. Thank you for playing your small part in the assassination of King Edward VII. You really have been wonderful help. See you at 9 a.m. Yours, Bella Rabia, better known to you as Lady Arabella Conk Singleton. Good Lord, Holmes. Lady Arabella is the missing anarchist. Watson, we've known that from the very beginning. Switching your name from Arabella to Bella is not a very good disguise. I'm just going to put that out there. Okay, 98. Framed? So we haven't even stopped them, Watson says. In fact, we've helped them and now we'll be framed? He slumps dejectedly to the floor. Let's not give up yet, you say, starting to pace. There must be some way to find out this code. Turn to 70. Help. Okay. You feel something hitting against your leg as you move nervously about in the room. You reach down and find an envelope inside your coat pocket. A letter, you say, wondering how it got there. The cleaner. He must have slipped it into my pocket when he brushed past me earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and pop that up. 70. Oop, nope, it's that one. Okay. Well, let me just... Oh, you know what? It's not actually cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger just in case we need it for this one. There we go. That should be good. So I'll read the letter. My dearest Sherlock, you tried to help me once, and now it's my turn to help you. These dials need 4 numbers from 4 people. Each dial has a symbol. Look at the symbol and find the person who resides there. You'll have met each of them tonight. Each of these people is known by a code. The number in this code is the dial's position. As for the knobs, well, I've already told you. I know you often work from the end to the beginning, but this time you need to go from top to bottom. Yours, Ian. So this is the cleaner. This is the guy whose name has been on like every single one of the letters. I realize now I made a grave mistake and I wrote down that information in the chat last time. I did not write it down properly, so I think that I'm going to need to really quickly scan through the book and find all iterations of the name. So because I feel like that would be a little bit boring, I'm going to go ahead and go to the break screen and I'm going to just grab that information and I'll be back soon. So I will see y'all in a little bit. And I'm back. Okay, I've got them all written down. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 options here. We have Amenhotep III, Urbina Nereidis, or I don't know how to say that, Rosetta Stone, Venus, Eurydice with death, and Icarus. So reminder of what it says. You tried to help me once, and now it's my time to help you. These dials need 4 numbers from 4 people. Okay, so people, which knocks out the Rosetta Stone automatically. So there's only one we need to get rid of. Each dial has a symbol. Look at the symbol and find the person who resides there. You'll have met each of them tonight. Each of these people is known by a code. The number in this code is the dial's position. So 1, 5, 3, and 0. Okay. As for the knobs, well, I've already told you. So start at the top and work your way down. Okay. So Icarus is obvious. There are wings and a sun. So that has to be Icarus, which is the 9. So I'm revealing a color. Okay, let me finish reading this thing actually. A letter is all well and good, but what does it mean? How do we get out? Let's look at your notes, Watson. I think we're going to need them. You set your translation device to the letter M. Why the letter M? Add the first two numbers together and take the direction of the top knob. Turn your wheel as many places in this direction. Add the last two numbers together and take the direction of the bottom knob. Turn your wheel as many places in this direction. Okay. I think. So, starting from the top, working our way down. So we have the planets, we have Icarus, we have, I would say probably Venus because of the wave, and then Hell, which I would assume is death. So Icarus, Venus, and death. So who would the top one be? Amenhotep or Nereid? Or Nereids. These are the two that I do not know, so I'm going to look up what they're about. I'm not looking in the back of the book. I'm just looking up what they're about. Let's see. The Nereid monument, however you say it, takes its name from the Nereids, most likely identity of the statues placed between the columns of this monumental tomb. They were sea nymphs. Oh, okay. Sea nymphs in Greek mythology who helped sailors on their voyages when they faced fierce storms. So I was wrong. That would mean that the third one is the Nereids. Oops, sorry. So we've got first two, second two. So the Nereids are the third, which is a 1. And Eurydice with death would be the 3. And then Icarus is the second one, and that's a 0. And then that leaves us with either 9 or a 7. I don't know of any instance of Venus rather having anything to do with the stars. Let's see. Amenhotep the third. What were you known for? Let me click on you. Get a sip of my water. Let's see. King of Ancient Egypt, yep. Peaceful prosperity, expanding diplomatic contacts. Okay, I'm just seeing what else is going on. He married a commoner. Good for him. I'm not seeing anything that has to do with the stars, though, so let's pull up Venus. Well, it might be Venus. Let's see. Doop, 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 doop. Goddess of victory, fertility, and even prostitution. Good for her. I've seen the Venus painting in person at the Uffizi in Italy, and it was amazing. I did not realize that it was going to be there, and I teared up when I turned the corner. Let's see. I'm leaning towards it being Venus. I'm not seeing anything for one or the other. And it obviously isn't the Rosetta Stone. Hmm. I kind of wish that I had. No, because the Venus one was. Oh, the Venus one was the very first one that we came across. Like that was very clearly, very distinctly, hey, this is interesting. And it's circled and there's this random name Ian. I'm going to say that it's probably Venus based off of that. Because if our strange companion who left us this mysterious note had very specifically marked that one, that seems like the correct thing to do. Okay, so we have 7, 0, and 1, 3. So starting at the letter M, add the first two numbers together, 7, and take the direction of the top knob. Turn your wheel as many places in this direction. Take the direction of the top knob. I don't know what the take the direction means. Does that mean to go left or go right? I'm not looking at solutions, I'm looking at the hints because that phrasing confuses me. No, 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 top right. She already said. 98. What was it? 102. I'm backtracking really quick. 38. 74. Either 44 or 96. I just have to backtrack to what she said. 69. 22. Top left, bottom right. Top one goes to the left. Bottom one goes to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the number 4, 1 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got green. If the color revealed is green, turn to 50. Triumph! Aha! Success. Okay, so I'm going to close out of these. Doop. There we go. Watson gently moves the dials to their positions and turns the knobs left and right. He takes a deep breath and pushes. The door swings open. Watson turns to you. We've done it, Holmes. We've foiled them. You allow a smile to tickle at your lips. Yes, Watson, this time I think we have. Excuse me while I burp. You pick up the gun from the floor and the gas lamp from the far wall and follow Watson back through the tunnels and up to the King's Library. The room is lit with a golden hue. Sunlight streams through the windows. Holmes, Watson! A familiar voice calls. You turn. It's Mycroft. We heard that you'd been trapped here, Holmes. Mycroft pats your shoulder in a manner that is honestly a little condescending. Don't worry, we're here to help you. You smile back and hand Mycroft the Mannlicher, still heavy in your hand. Okay, it's a gun. Mannlicher is a gun. He looks at you confused. There's going to be an attempted regicide, you say, today at the British Museum Underground Station. You'll be able to find the anarchists on the train tracks at 9 a.m. Mycroft looks stunned. Come then, Mycroft, you say, smiling. Get on after them. Do your job. Mycroft looks at you, and then, as though he has been shocked, he starts moving very quickly towards the door. The Rosetta Stone is a fake, you shout after him as he walks away. Mycroft sputters. What? He shouts before turning and running toward the museum entrance. You smile and turn to look at Watson. He claps you on the back and grins. You head for home. Turn to 65. If I have succeeded, I'm shocked. I am shocked I succeeded at this game. I'm very proud. A couple of hits along the way, of course, but that is typical. Not everyone's brain works for every different thing. Well, Holmes, you outdid yourself there, Watson smiles cheerily from across the room at 221B Baker Street. He sips at Mrs. Hudson's tea and nibbles a scone. The woman proved little help, you murmur. Indeed, yes, Watson says. You have sent a heartfelt letter to Mrs. Norton offering your thanks. You look again at the morning paper. There's no mention of the former Irene Adler's role in foiling this dastardly plot. Perhaps a letter to the editor is needed to set this right. You got here just in time for the end, yes, and I want to show you something that you would not have gotten, but, whatever. Let me see, where's the 43? This was one of the clues. Oh, yes, let me... Doop. Don't you just love how terrible this musical notation is? But I figured it out. I'm so proud of myself. Wait, let me show you. It's 61 because you had to do the number of notes and the line that they were on. But I figured it out. I'm very proud of myself. I had seen that there was musical notation when I was taking photos, and I didn't look closely at them, of course. But I was just like, it would be very helpful if Deep Squirrel were here. Anyway, let me just go ahead and read our lovely Daily Gazette then. King Edward VII, saved by Sherlock Holmes. Master detective foils anarchist plot to kill king in British Museum underground. Anarchism infects high society. Lord and Lady of the Realm in handcuffs. Is this Sherlock Holmes' greatest triumph? The Baker Street maestro foiled a daring plot to assassinate King Edward VII at an official event in the British Museum Underground Station this morning. Lady Arabella Conk-Singleton, now unmasked as an escaped Italian anarchist, Bella Rabia, was arrested at the site with her husband, Lord Crispin Conk-Singleton, and British Museum Assistant Director Sir Alasdair Stewart. Colonel Sebastian Moran, one-time associate of the late Professor Moriarty, was also captured red-handed as he prepared his weapon and taken into custody. The arrested individuals, all members of the Bonapartist anarchist group, had plotted to shoot the king dead, but Holmes and his trusty assistant John Watson, M.D., uncovered the plot and saved the day. And then there's another little sidebar. Rosetta Stone, a forgery. The Rosetta Stone on display in the British Museum is a fake. Anarchist plotters hired a skilled stonemason to create a replica and carried off the original, planning to sell it to a wealthy Texan. The original stone has been found in London docks and will be returned to the museum. The stone, inscribed in 3 languages, is a key artifact used to decipher ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and was found in Egypt in 1799. And with that, we're done with the book. Yay! Very exciting stuff. I really enjoyed a lot about this book. A lot of the clues tended to have a little bit more relation to the things that were happening in the game, and they done messed me up with this triangle one, because I was just like, oh yes, you count every single thing, and then I counted this yellow one as a triangle. Well done, me. But anyway, so overall, I loved most of the riddles and puzzles that were in this one. There were some that were just It wasn't that they were difficult, it was you needed to have kind of the knowledge base to be able to do them. And that's not something that I had personally, but you could see like other ones I just zipped right through no problem. So, it's good that they have their hints and clues at the back. Sometimes the hints I'm just like, that's not the part that I needed a hint for. Rude. But yeah, I really love this, and I have two more of these books by these same people. So I would hope that that means that they also have similar concepts and tie-ins that I liked in this one. Fingers crossed. But yes, well done, Holmes, indeed. And for a final time, maybe. Why is it not appearing? Oh, wait, redeem. There we go.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Yay! It's elementary, my dear Watson. Oh, that was a good time. So, let's see things and stuff that are happening. So the finale of the double, I'm still forgetting the name of it. Double-edged? The Thirsty Sword Lesbians game that I was in on Horde of Tales. You accidentally napped, you are valid. You're fine. No, so the finale of the four-part series that I was in on Horde of Tales for Pride Month is on Wednesday. It was absolutely incredible. I think that you'll really love the ending, but maybe that's me. So it's sponsored rather by Evil Hat. They sponsored all of Horde of Tales stuff this month, which was incredible of them. And I really loved playing this game. And I'm very excited that I have another Thirsty Sword Lesbians game coming up, which will be intriguing because it's not going to be lesbians. It's going to be boys love tropes. So it'll be a good time for CitrusCon. It's an online BL convention that's in August, I want to say, but we're pre-recording because that makes scheduling a heck of a lot easier. So I'm looking at Rocket, who has been enthusiastically chewing on a bone literally the entire stream. I'm very impressed with her. Anyway, yeah, so Wednesday is that finale of the Thirsty Sword Lesbians game, and then on Thursday I'll be doing my usual Pokemon stream, and I might tomorrow, depending on how things are, I might do another co-working stream. We'll find out. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and see if there is anyone to do a little mini raid with. Otherwise, I will see y'all around. Have a good one. Bye.